I think this place actually makes people paranoid.
It does, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I was having a great conversation about AI, and the 222 person was very interested in it, but then they got me all sidetracked.
222 doesn't seem especially antagonistic.
I know, that's why it's confusing. It's like, what? Yeah, I'm almost there, Fire Drake, but I got the super chats today. I think tomorrow it'll be fully realized. If AI, I am, I am AI, guys. So that's the truth.
Who is this Fire Drake guy? He's kicked me so many times, but I just don't really have a concept of who he is.
I think he's got mini accounts, right?
I don't know.
But he's the first guy who ever came over here from Paul, him and Jeeps, I think. So he might just be Paul,
Maybe.
You can never know with these motherfuckers.
No, and you never know because they have 10 accounts each, etc. So, whatever.
Maybe it's our poll.
It's hard to keep track of everyone who hates you because they have 10 names of, person. Check this out. Check this noise out.
Yeah. I mean, even Moose was saying he has 7 or 10 or something. And, so it's like.
You have a lot yourself.
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Just me.
Anytime you go against the grain in any opinion, or especially the popular opinion majority, or have neglected opinion on something or something that isn't popular majority wise, you at least get 1 or 2 haters for that.
Oh, definitely. That's what the Panelverse is. Actually, it's just a hater escape.
It does have a certain catharsis to it. I mean, for your anger and stuff, but I don't know. I continually. It's entertaining. I think that's the bottom line, and it's a good escape.
Yeah, definitely. But I think there's always been kind of like an inner troll within man, but he never had a way to express it before, let's just say, during the cowboy days or something, and they would have to be nice and because, you had to interact with people and, get your stuff, your supply, and all that stuff. Now it's like you can just rando be a dick and get all of your, all of your rage hate out on the world, onto the world, and feel better about yourself. Like it must be like a dopamine hit or something.
You really think it's as effective as something like exercise or a counseling session or other ways that you can kind of deal with anger and bitterness, etc.? Maybe it is.
It probably is because you have the numbers, and the attention and the lack of real work to pull it off. So the brain is satisfied.
It's at least an instant fix.
So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I saw a video today. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen this before. It was a good one to look back into. It was one with Paul. I'm trying to pull it back up. It was where he's on some property and they say that he's not supposed to be there. Does that sound familiar? It's kind of in the woods.
You're talking about Paul?
Yes, Mr. Unslaved. Yes.
Is it the one where he's at the vaccination clinic that's kind of unmarked vaccination clinic or something else?
Is this right here?
Based on the person who owns it. So we have an agreement. Are you fulfilling right now?
By the owner, if you guys are.
I haven't seen that.
And what is their name?
What is their name?
What is the owner's name? If there's somebody claiming that my property is owned by someone else, please tell me their name. Who claimed it? I don't need to identify myself, sir. You came onto my property.
Is there a reason the actual homeowner said that you don't have permission to be here?
Okay, what is their name, please? If they made a report, please tell me their name.
What about my
We are here to investigate suspicious activity.
You're making me feel unsafe, sir.
Okay.
So if you could please not walk up behind me and flank me. If you could just stay out in the public area.
This is unreal.
What we got? They've been advised, yes? Yeah, the homeowner said that they want to remove it.
But they won't tell me the name of the homeowner since I'm under contract. It's interesting. There's another homeowner who I'm under contract with, but they won't tell me the name. I absolutely do, but I don't need to prove my innocence to you. I'm not doing anything. I'm on my property.
What is your name?
I don't need to identify myself.
That's where you're wrong.
Actually, I'm not. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right now, you're
I'm
sitting
here
in
on my,
trespass.
sir, I'm here on my, I'm on my,
Okay, so
it's my
could you
property.
issue the advisement?
Yeah, we'll get
Could you give us the written advisement? And then once we get the written advisement, we'll leave.
Yep.
And then we'll contact the property owners
Yes.
because we're under contract right now and we are agreed with them.
So, what's your name, sir?
I don't have to give you anything.
You do actually. So here's the cool deal. You'll be cool with me. I'll be cool with you.
It's not about being cool. It's
You-
about upholding
Listen,
rights in the law, sir.
Okay, the law
We're not at the
is-
bar.
Here's the law.
Yeah.
The law is right now we were told that you are not allowed to be on this property.
Well, we
Please
just
tell
made
me-
an agreement.
Sir,
That I
let
am.
me finish real quick.
Okay.
We've been told by the people who own this property, hold on a second, that you guys are not allowed to be here. With that being said, if you guys aren't allowed to be here, that's criminal trespass. We will issue a criminal trespass notice. If you are under contract, what that tells me is you do not currently have the right to be on the property. The contract is in negotiation. If you're negotiating about buying the property, once the contract is completed, then you now possess the property and you can come and go as you please.
Sir, I've been on this property investing money into it to make sure utilities, so I'm allowed to be on the owners are allowing me to be on the property then to pay for stuff
Okay.
to have it fixed, but
here's
I'm
the
not
deal,
allowed
then.
on it
So here's the
now.
deal. If you guys give us your names, we will
We don't need to.
Give me a second now. Let me finish. If you give us your names, we will contact the owner and say, look, these are the people that are on this property. Are you under contract with them? Are you willing to let these people right? Because right now, all we have is two people, a male and a female, on our property that we have. Obviously, you guys aren't giving us your names, so we can't help you.
Okay, well, you
So the
can
best we can do
communicate.
is tell you to leave. Until you give us your names, then we can contact the homeowner.
Fair
And
enough.
we'll
Are
be in
you
contact.
are you
can
willing
let-
to contact them and
Yeah,
let
we'll
them?
contact them right now.
Are you willing to make them aware
Damn.
that the second party in the contract to own this property is here doing inspection on the utilities as is agreed upon?
Well, again, I will make that contact. If you guys give me your names, we'll contact them right now.
Well, no, you could just let them know that. And if they say that they don't trust that and they think somebody's lying, well, then they can issue the trespass order. You could give us the notice and we'll be on our way. And then maybe we decide that we don't want the property at that point, since they want to
So here's
trespass
what
the
we'll do.
prospective
You have a
owners
criminal
off the land.
trespass notice right handy? Your unit's closest? Yeah. Grab one from real quick, please.
It's kind of odd that the owners of the property who want to sell it would tell us we can't be here when we're under, as you say, contract.
Well, no, you guys said contract. I don't know what you guys are going.
Yeah, we're under
If you're under-
contract. It means we made a
Yes,
lawful.
I've already
One
put,
second, Jennifer. We made a lawful agreement between two consenting
Where's Jennifer?
parties.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but what the problem is when it comes to agreement at that point in time, without any physical paperwork that we can see, it doesn't mean crap. to
I
us.
understand that, but you're here to fulfill the lawful order. That means the other side has to give it. If not, then you're claiming to be the interested party in this property. Do you have any interest or equity in this property?
That's not what we're saying, sir.
Okay, well,
So
I'm
you're
interested in the
putting words in my
maxims
mouth.
of law, not everyone's interpretation. So
You're
whoever has
putting
interest
words
and
in my
equity in
mouth
this
with this.
property has the right to possess it or to.
So what we're going to
keep
do
and
is, he's
maintain it.
got a criminal trespass notice, so we'll need your information. We'll put it on the notice, and you guys can go ahead and leave at that point in time.
I'm
because
not
You've been
giving them
notified
one.
by the criminal trespass.
Okay, yeah, again,
Okay.
you don't need any information.
Really
or
wrong.
close.
So here's the deal. Okay,
Excuse
right now
me?
we're investigating a criminal trespass.
17
If you guys don't cooperate and give us your
28.
names, we have the right at that point in time to take you into custody and arrest you. All we're looking for is your name, date of birth, so we can put on the criminal trespass notice. We'll give you the notice. and you guys are free to leave.
Mexico 28.
Okay, well, why don't you do what you already agreed to on camera and go and contact the prospective.
do.
Okay, but I've got to have your names.
Adam.
Okay, well, you can let him know your given name,
Okay.
right? And then he can tell them what your given name is. And if they say they want to trespass, the woman's given name is on that paperwork, and
What's
we
your
can
last
go
name,
from there.
Jennifer, what's your last name?
Should I give them my name?
You can give him your given name. Why
Okay.
not?
Jennifer-
He's claiming that the other.
Jennifer Berkowitz.
Berkowitz? Can you spell Berkowitz for me, please?
BER
BERKOWITZ.
KOWITZ.
And now you
ITZ.
understand that.
And are you,
Your date of birth. then.
I don't see why.
I
you have
don't
to
see
provide
why I
your
need
date
my
of
date.
birth.
That's not
he's
even on
claiming
any
the
of the
other-
paperwork.
So
They know my
ma'am,
name.
we'll
They
start-
know my
we'll start
name.
with your name.
Just,
If the criminal trespass notice, we'll go from
Yep.
there.
Sure.
Okay.
That'll work.
they know my name,
Six,
so
yes.
please call them and tell them Jennifer Berkowitz is on the property.
I will take care of that. Just, I know how to do my job. Just give me
Was
the
she
right
much
to-
older than him?
Can you contact the property owner of this residence or this location?
I know she's older. I don't know how
Berkowitz.
Something like
many years
52 or
and
something.
That's crazy. That's a lot older. That's like 15 years.
Mhm.
You want to run it off your unit? Jennifer Berkowitz off your unit.
Hey, Landry, if you want to stop for a second, I want to bring up a couple things.
Of course. Yes, 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 yes.
So it's interesting that there's the burnt trees, that are on the property and even across the street. So that's kind of a weird, thing. You don't necessarily see that every day, and especially like real estate transactions. But SHIT happens, and looks like for the most part, at least, it wasn't totally destroyed. I'm wondering if this is also the day that they had the cops come out on them when he was shooting. I guess he was shooting a gun or something at one time, and if that was the same day, because if that was the case, then the cops are going to kind of have an interest in getting rid of the guy. And then when he was talking to the cop and she started to interject, and he was like, "No, Jennifer," like he already kind of gave her a name away. That was kind of weird. And then the threat that Paul must be like physically, kind of like a physically intimidating kind of a person. Also, you can see that reflected with the police behavior. So I find that interesting as well. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know too much about it.
So you guys looking to buy in this place, and obviously if you're
No, we're already
Under
we're already
contract.
in contract. We're already settled on it, right?
Yeah.
So unless they renegotiate or they back out at this point, it's already fine.
So we're in the middle of evacuation notice. Obviously, there's a fire that's.
We're not going to use this. We're not going to use fear and safety in order to take rights and freedom.
I'm not saying you
So
guys
if
have
you
to.
I am aware of the.
Evacuation.
I'm aware of the
I
event.
just wasn't sure if you guys are aware of the
I'm
evacuation.
totally aware, sir. Thank you
Okay,
for
cool.
keeping everyone's really safe.
Yeah, I feel
Appreciate
very safe right now.
I feel so safe.
Like I feel really safe having you here.
I can't remember last time I
protecting
felt this safe.
us on my property. I feel very safe.
And please understand also, if we contact that buyer and they didn't contact you first and you just made this all up on camera, then you and I are going to have some issues at court.
Oh heck yeah! Go
Yeah,
for it,
I know you guys love it.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is
mind
what you're
it.
into, ego and pride games, right?
No sir, no sir.
Yeah, we'll get you on record.
We've got better things
What
to
is
do than
his
come
name?
bother you
I would
guys
hope
with
so,
that,
sir.
with
I
that.
want to believe we're all Americans and that we all have the same common bonds and loyalties to the same ideas of what this place is supposed to be about. I would hope that's the case.
Like I've had interactions with police before and stuff, but I've never been flanked like that. I don't know.
Never been flanked.
I've never been flanked like that. Like where they are, behind me or on the side, kind of anticipating maybe an physical interaction. So I'm thinking that Paul's probably a pretty intimidating person, like in real life.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're flanking him.
Lost in what our duties and obligations are, principles,
When you say
values.
we, who are you talking about?
I'm saying in the majority of folks, myself at one time in my life, right, in my past, and the majority of folks who I meet in present day, in uniform or out, are lacking in accountability and responsibility, understanding of what right from wrong is, and the difference between legal and lawful. So that's what I do day to day. It's become my career as such.
That's good.
So, I guess we're both upholding the law, rights, freedom, and principles in our own way, in or out of uniform. So we have a common bond. I want to believe that.
Good.
So it seems he's just running my name, not calling the owner.
Again, like I just told him, I just gave him lawful notice. If he's here under false pretenses and making this up, that the homeowner, quote unquote, which is you apparently under contract, doesn't want you here.
Okay.
I just
So,
heard him
are
telling
you
him
guys
to run my
listening?
name.
No, I can't interpret that.
So what we contacted the homeowner with your name. He said he does not know who you are, and you do not have permission to be on the property.
Oh, that's
So-
fascinating.
That
Did
is
rather
fascinating.
quickly.
So
Because I'm going to contact my realtor
Could
right
you
now.
call them right now?
Yeah, I'm
please?
gonna
And
actually
then we're
call
gonna get
them.
legal. You have no reason to believe we just came up on this property. We're hanging around. We just brought a hose here. We're fixing the
So look up
property
to
up and we're
them.
investing and we're doing inspection.
At this
It's
point in time,
absurd and
the
ridiculous.
homeowners do not want you on the property.
And I
You're
would like
claiming
to
that. We
speak
have no
to
reason
them.
to believe that.
I think
you
I have
act as if I
I have a
trust
right
what
to-
you say
right.
implicitly.
I
I
would
have no
please-
reason to know what you're
So
doing and not doing.
Your options are.
You're
Now,
no.
here you go. Your
here-
options are do this.
You
or
want me
else.
to
That's the
believe you?
definition
Wait,
of
can
oil.
I say something?
Just don't
They
make it
want me
loud,
to.
Jennifer.
They
Don't
want
make
me to believe. You want me to believe you that you just talked to the owner. Yet you're not going to believe me that I'm the property owner and I'm under contract. Why should I believe you, but you are not believing me? Please do it in front of me so I can have trust in you. I'm supposed to feel safe, and I don't trust you. Please just do it in front of me, and then I can bring it up with my realtor and the owners, because I'm not going to want the property since I've already put money into it. We go to closing in a few weeks. So if you could please do it in front of me so I can have some trust in the people who are supposed to protect and serve me, which is what it says all over the sheriffs. You're supposed to protect and serve me. I don't feel safe. If you're going to be doing this, please let me trust you and do it in front of me. You want me to believe you?
Yeah, there's no reason we all can't be open and honest and
Right.
transparent here, unless you
I will be transparent if
unless
you
guys have
are.
something to hide. I mean,
If you're not, I'm asking you to please let me speak to the owner. Since he and I are under contract, I know the name. Can you?
Jennifer, you listen to this real quick, okay?
I don't. Can you please tell
Okay.
me the name of the man
So
you
here's
just
the
spoke to? Please tell me the name of the man you just spoke to. If you're being honorable, I know the owner's names.
The property owner in 5 seconds and
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Dang.
I don't.
You know, I don't know if the deal went through, but that literally could have been a blessing in disguise for the fact that they wouldn't let them do their diligence, and maybe the property was lemon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some interesting interactions with cops, you know, and it's but I've obviously been in situations where I never anything like that.
No.
Never anything like that. Have you been to jail before?
Yeah, I've been to jail a few times.
So
How about you?
yeah, like 3 times. Never for too long, but yeah, a few times for sure.
Yeah. Me, disorderly conduct and a couple of false domestic violence accusations.
Yeah, to you, Quantum Epic, I know it's all El Perro because El Perro keeps telling me he's trying to test my. As soon as I said it was El Perro, he didn't respond, right? I don't know. He's always playing games in here, dude. I think El Perro is Jack Hardlow, me, myself, and 222. That's my guess. But could be
All
wrong.
3 of those?
I think so.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
He's got 30 of them.
That's a lot of work.
I mean, here's the thing, though. If I ask him, he'll tell me the truth. He's not gonna lie about it.
Really?
So, yeah, that's what I've learned about him. He'll own up to it, unless it's King Arpole. Plastic African.
Oh, I
I
know.
remember who that was. Oh, I remember that guy now. Yeah. Wrong. Are you sure, Jack Hardlow? I don't know. Okay. I give up on y'all. I'm just close the chat for now. But this one guy. So I was looking at this earlier. That the person who I think they're in the chat. The monster. They had this person up who was they thought whether or not this was AI or not. This and I've seen this girl before, and I thought the same thing, dude.
Could just be the way your camera's set up.
I don't know if I'm going to watch your video. I might just go to the actual lady because she kind of came out of nowhere, and she has some really, really weird, like facial responses. Like I don't know how to explain it. Have you seen this chick before?
No.
Yeah, and this is the thing where you got to like kind of look out for it because this is going to keep happening with some of these. Because I mean, the technology they have is probably much more ahead than it is that they give us. So, how do you spell her name?
Definitely.
Wingen. But I've seen this chick, and I wondered the same thing. Okay, I don't know how to spell this name. Let's see. Oh, it's right there. Wingard. Okay, that's what it is. That's a Wingard. All right. Here we go.
With the A and then the ring around it?
At.
See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. Conversations are with bots we can't even identify. Our feeds overflow with ChatGPT generated content. Everything looks real, but nothing feels human anymore. The dead internet theory originated on Agora Road's Macintosh Cafe,
What's up,
where
ATW?
anonymous users compiled evidence of what they believed destroyed the golden days of the internet. According to the theory, the internet died somewhere around 2016. What replaced it?
Maybe she's not AI. Maybe I'm tripping. But she does have some weird manners. It might just be like a weird accent.
Promoting scams are bots.
Because I can see this argument. Hold on. What's your claim?
And things like that.
But your skin, take it as a compliment. Your skin looks a little too perfect to be what I
It could just
think
be airbrushed though.
real person.
It's true.
Okay. Or maybe you're just using a filter. I don't know.
My initial thought is she's probably real.
Yeah, me too. But she just there's some times where her emotion is really not there. She'll like do like a reaction where she'll have the screen up and she just makes his face to where she's like, and she'll just get like frozen. But yeah, I think she's real. But
I
there's
think
definitely
most of the
somebody out
AI
there.
Most
Go
of the
ahead.
AI channels that I see are like these commentary channels, like Red Pill Men's stuff, where they basically are voiceover of reviewing TikTok videos and stuff like that. But you could tell, I mean, they even say it's an AI channel or whatever. Like they'll have either a British accent or they'll have it sound a certain way, but they're not showing like a person. They're just a voiceover.
It's a good point. But I mean, where we see it going in 20 years or so is going to be so advanced that like I don't know if it'll be beyond real. You know what I mean? So hypothetically, if that technology does exist, this could be happening and we just don't catch it. You know what I mean?
Sure. When Google Earth first came out and like you could like zoom in on your house and it was like within like 3 feet of accuracy and stuff like that. Like that was way back then, and the military is probably at least 10 years ahead of us in terms of what they have access to. So it's like I was scared back then. Like so yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It's like they're definitely implementing step by step, phase by phase, camera by camera, village by village, city, town by town, these surveillance state type of future living, I guess.
Yeah. So are you optimistic or what?
I mean, I have a ham sandwich theory that I hope comes to pass, because then it won't matter if I'm optimistic or not. We'll be out of here. But that ties in with my Christian belief and stuff like that. So, you want to hear the ham sandwich theory?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, based on Daniel 10-12, Donald Trump literally has everything it takes to be the Antichrist that's identified in that book, right? And he was a real estate developer and, leader, cares about whatever, the Jews love him and everything. So he could actually somehow get a deal done on the Temple Mount to have the temple erected, the third temple in Jerusalem, which is sort of alluded to but not directly prophesied. But that would enable the Jews to start their animal sacrifices and do the things that they need to do to bring in their promised Messiah, which the timing is also kind of happening at this time. So the thing is, Donald Trump gets the temple built, and at the christening, let's just say he has a Subway ham sandwich in his back pocket or whatever. He forgot about it, and he sits down on the altar, and the Jews freak out because no pork, right? And he's like, "I built this place. I'm the authority here," and boom, Antichrist right there, right? And at that point in time, you have about 3 to a 9 year window when God and Jesus Christ is supposed to return to earth. So hopefully that temple goes up and we can put God on the clock for once and go on offense instead of being on defense all the time. Ham sandwich theory.
That's fascinating. So
Yeah.
you're a big Christian, right?
I mean, I believe in God and Jesus, yes, but like I'm not like a practicing church going, pew riding, popcorn Christian.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So what is it that keeps you like claiming that title at all?
Well, for me, it's easy. I had an experience with God and Jesus in the spirit realm. So for me, I have actual eye, ear, first person witness, and it was only at that point that I actually, bought a Bible or started reading the Bible. So for me, it was definitely a direct Holy Spirit experience that I had.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I was just a secular business person, and I thought, yeah, God is somewhere out there, but I didn't know any of the nuance or any of the details of any kind of religion or anything. As a matter of fact, my family is Muslim, very secular, but that's what they claim. And so it just happened to be that I would pray for God to reveal himself to me at a certain point in my life. And lucky enough for me, he did show up.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. The chat is like going insane right now. I'm so confused. Rusty
They don't
old
like
hoe.
Most people don't like me, so it's
Why
all
not?
right. I don't know, but I troll with them, so like you could try and troll over on me, but I'm always gonna win, so it's all good.
Woohoo! Good job, Arpol. You win. What do you think about Arpol? You think he's trustworthy?
Yeah, I mean, if that's the actual R poll, yeah, I think he's actually a believer too. So
it's good. He's doing a good job. He's just using the emojis a lot. What is this? A hook and Paul. Okay. Yeah, this chat is so. Is it just because it's Saturday night? Is there some like drunk people in the chat? Because like I've been so. This is not the way the chat normally is here. This is fascinating.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Did you know that today was my monetization birth? Yeah. My goal was achieved. Yeah, goal was achieved.
That's awesome, man. Good job.
Yeah. And so I had to, recoup my meal for Jeff. I keep calling him Jeff. Is it Jeff? Yeah, it's Jeff. I want to say Joe. Jeff Pizer.
Yeah. So you had a full day today then.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty freaking tired. I'm just like, I'm here for the people. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think it would be best just for me to go to sleep and let the chat just keep going because they're just here for each other. They're not here for me.
Maybe that's that's probably a niche market of the panelverse. Like if you could fill in dead space for the drama, you've got a place to be. You'd probably make it,
Okay, Lindsay, if you want me to stick around longer, I can do it just for you, but I got to make a new goal. Oh, man. Oh, so dude, let me see. Like, what else can I might need to take a pee break and then I can come back.
So, when are you and OTW supposed to get together?
Yeah, he's not really putting too much time into it because there's some really dumb people out there. You know what I mean? There's like 3 that are really, really dumb, and he gives them a lot of time. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't, because that is the last thing that I need him to do. However, I'm around. I'm available. If he wants to, collaborate, and I'll be around. But if I tried to go over there and make that happen, those people would just lose their minds. You know what I mean? So I'm not really worried about it.
Do you see yourself as like a number one, like headliner, like showstopper type of broadcaster, or
well, if I stop doing this, where I just like go for so long, you know what I mean? If I really wanted to hone down and like get down to it and just take it seriously, which I still might do here whenever I get fully monetized, which is when you can have the ads and everything, and then that goes out of the way, and I just want to cut it down to 2 hours or something like that, and then just have like a focused thing, because they always start off better, but then I keep them going for the people, you know what I mean? But this is not my best self right here. I'm just trying to stay awake.
Sure. So like, would you have like specific on focus topics, and that would be the main part of the show, or is it going to be panelverse 101?
Oh yeah, no, I'm working out of the panelverse here soon. We're going to evolve. I talked to Rose today about it, about ways to use the panelverse to get out of the panelverse, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Well, that yesterday, did you see that guy? I interviewed this guy who's not in this space.
No, I missed it. So
yeah, it was a pretty good conversation. I mean, it was just totally outside of this space, and it was his first time ever live streaming. So hold on, let me pull him up. So
So he's a YouTube content creator and non-panelverse, or has a different panelverse, like a different community.
No, he's just this is him right here. Hold up. What's up? I know the Who is El Perro for sure. For sure.
Hey, security researcher here once again. Thanks for checking out this video. Today we're diving into something that the FBI is warning everybody about, and this is something you need to hear. So let's jump right in. Picture this, you're fast asleep and out of nowhere your phone starts ringing. You and I both know that nobody should be calling at this hour, and if they are, something's got to be wrong. Half asleep, you reach for your phone. Blinded by the light coming off of it, you squint at the screen. It's your daughter's number. Instantly, your pulse starts to quicken.
So we can see where this is going. Oh my God, my daughter,
Yeah.
she needs money.
It's almost
he's
like
kind
Terminator.
Yeah,
when,
I think he might have bought some subs, dude, because he's got 58,000 and he gets like, unless he's shadow banned, I don't know.
Is he brand new or?
He's actually had this account for 10 years.
And is he always talking about like FBI, covert, CIA, like you know, deep state stuff?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm gonna start a topic for discussion while I go pee. The discussion topic is favorite movies. Okay, it's on you. You're in charge.
All right. Is there anyone else in here? No. Well, my favorite movies would probably be like, you know, I don't know, like Platoon and like Tombstone, maybe Miracle, Devil's Advocate. You know, something that is, you know, going to be kind of male orientated, not, you know, too fruity, you know, a little bit masculine, kind of, you know, gung ho, a little bit inspiring, like Full Metal Jacket. It's kind of crazy. Apocalypse Now. I love like the Next Generation, Star Trek. Excuse me, like Star Wars. No, like after Jar Jar Binks was like on the screen, like totally just abandoned that franchise. So like I don't even know any of the stuff anymore. You know, but that was it. Like you can't have that much incompetence on the screen and then expect me to be like, you know, on board with it. It's like these Hobbit movies or Lord of the Rings or whatever. That's like the main character's best skill is literally jumping and hiding in a bush. I'm not going to be down with that at all. Like I don't like that at all, you know. So so I guess the theme would be kind of like, you know, the hero story, the soldier story, the sports like star kind of, or like Miracle is kind of a inspiring like teamwork kind of a, you know, goal orientated type of movie. Next Generation is great because of just the sheer talent of all of the cast members. The writing was immensely creative and just like just phenomenal. The chemistry between the actors was amazing, and I think probably the writing was the strongest with that. So anyway, I think I can hear you washing your hands. It's kind of weird, but you know, going back to that Paul video, I think it's interesting. I wonder if that contract actually went through or whatever, because like that could have been a scam all along, especially if it's like a across the state or across the nation type of purchase where like you just looking at everything online, you're getting your finance, you know, everything's like kind of Zelle quick, you know, and then like electronic signing, and that's like the market was like that for a little while. And so when you go there and then you have these howdy doodies, like they kind of know what the game is and like they could be in on it. So like if I was Paul, I would have definitely been paranoid as hell for that to happen, especially, you know, if he was, you know, unfortunately maybe made a little bit of attention to himself with the pistol. That would have been a kind of a problem. But still, like, oh, the owners don't want you here. Oh, you know, well, don't they want me to do my diligence? That's what a contract is for. Like, literally, that's the exact reason for a contract, right? And they're preventing you from doing your diligence. And there's fire damage on the property. but you're just supposed to take the, like take it or leave it. Like, something's up. Like, I don't know. It smells a little fishy. I know this isn't like about a movie or anything, but I don't know. It's just like, you just never know where the scams are going to come out of anymore. Like, it's totally weird. So, hopefully you're back soon, because I think that's about all the gas that I have in me without talking about something strange or about the Dramaverse, because that's what I want to talk to you about, is like the whole Dramaverse thing. You're kind of I don't know if you can hear me even, but I hope you can. Like, you're like a total anomaly in this place. Like, you just kind of flew in and grabbed a hold of a group of the panelversers, like, and you have them showing up regularly, and a lot of people don't get that kind of clout right away. And so, and then you had panelversers literally fighting for your judgment or your heart or your like loyalty, like a loyalty fight. Like, it's just so fascinating to me, because like, I've never seen like Paul or Flow State and Jack like fight over one in particular person per se, except maybe OTW. But you just kind of came in out of nowhere and just commanded, you could say, kind of like commanded this this demand, and I find that fascinating. So,
who did
that? Huh?
Who?
You.
Wait, I missed a lot of this. I wasn't listening. What happened?
So like you just kind of came in out of nowhere. It seemed like and at least from my perspective, maybe a bunch of the other panelversers that on this side of the spectrum here, and you have like Jack has your commitment, and then you have Paul coming in and just rapping with you, whatever, and maybe getting over a bad breakup or something. So he's just occupying time or whatever, and then the influence of Paul against Jack, and then you had Flow State the other day, and and then Paul's like vying for your loyalty, and it's like it's really strange that just this anomaly, I call you an anomaly, just flies in and all of a sudden has all this like kind of like cloud that we don't necessarily know why exactly, but it's just
I love the theories though. I love the theories for sure. Okay, so we're replacing the jail photo because apparently that's in poor taste. We're going to replace that with the another poor taste photo. So hold on, where's my tab? Okay, here it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I came into this place. I've just been wanting to do the same thing that I've said since the beginning, is just try to help. Not help. That's the wrong word. But I want to do creative things with other people, and somehow I ended up here, and all the people are now. I don't know, man. I don't know where I stand. You know what I mean? As far as if there are teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, do you see yourself as like a producer moose type, or a actual like frontline, conspiracy type of broadcaster, like, focused on certain topics, or, what do you really actually see going on? Because it seems like, you're not believing anyone's bullshit, which, that's a judgment call between, who's actually bullshitting. They could all be bullshitters. They could all just not be bullshitting and just have their own opinions of each other. We're talking about like Paul and Jack and Dusty, and NPC maybe, or whatever. You might just fly your own way and do your own streams or your own content, or you might be the secondary role of like more than one of these people, and play that support role that like a Moose or say like an OTW would play. And so I'm just wondering what you think you're going to end up doing.
Yeah, you're ball washing, they say. Wait, how did you do that?
I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you literally came out of nowhere. I don't know I guess you were doing the flat earth stuff. So I guess that's not out of nowhere, but.
Well, no, I mean, I was doing that many years ago, like, not many. Well, so, it was 2022 and 2021. I was doing the flat earth stuff. So I took a couple of years where I was just working in, a family business, shaving steel, shaving metal, cutting paper, folding paper, like on these big machines. So it wasn't until recently when I tried to get back into working for Jaron when he came back from Antarctica, and there was no more money left. So I only did that for a month until he was like, "Yeah, I can't pay you." I did 60 videos for like $500 because you have to, you have to find out how much it's gonna make, but you used to pay, much more, but this time around it was like, it was really upsetting, you know what I mean? Because that was like a lot of time, and I even told him, I was like, "Dude, listen, this is an important part of the story too." I was like, "Hey man, I have a little bit of money saved, put to the side. I would love to be able to invest in something that you and I could maybe do together. Maybe I can come down there and help film a mini documentary where we talk about your trip to Antarctica." And he wasn't interested in that, so that's how I ended up doing my own show with Modern Man #2, and then that didn't work out. And then I reached out to Jack saying, "Hey, you have the same amount of subscribers as me, but you have like a ton of live chat engagement. What's up with that?" And then we just started talking about ideas and all that. He was super nice, and then that's how I ended up here.
How did you end up getting the numbers to know that he has more live chat engagement? Like, how did you acquire that data?
Oh, just like people like in the chat. Like, I mean, I couldn't even get like 5. You know what I mean? He has like 70 in the chat.
Gotcha. So I'm wondering, like, if there's a database somewhere where that stuff's like you could pay to like buy it, or like if you were just able to AI acquire it or something.
It's public.
Because I saw a couple of your AI blocks of data, and those were very interesting as well.
Sure.
So I was just wondering, but you just say it was just just physical, head count in the chat, right?
That's it. Yep. That is it, my friend.
So were you a flat earther? Are you a flat earther?
Look, man, it's one of those things where I don't even like getting into it anymore, because here's my issue. So with flat Earth, I was believing it. Obviously I was working. That was my job in a lot of ways. It was, I made a lot of money doing it. Well, not a lot, but I depended on it, in a lot of ways. So I just, I was listening to the videos. Yeah, space is fake. Yep. I'm all on board. Everything seemed to make sense. And then, I got so bored and tired of it because it was just I did it so much. I just could not get out of it because I had to do it, and I was starting to hate it. But then with the trip to Antarctica, I'm in this position where it's like, I don't believe it was made up. I don't believe it was a green screen. But I also, at this point, I mean, I want to be a fence sitter here, because it doesn't matter either way. And I feel like I've seen so many people waste their time on it. But
that's fine.
I see both arguments. But for me, it's become something that is almost just the same as Democrat versus Republican. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how long have you been working with Jaron for?
Well, I'm not working with him now. But I worked for him for like 2 years, and then I did like 1 month, I guess maybe a month and a half this year.
Okay, so that's a bit, that's a decent amount of time, I guess. How about so I mean, you have no reason to believe like the Antarctica trip was like, you didn't go to Antarctica, did you?
Nope.
And there's no reason to believe that was a fake trip or a fake, fake experience, or fake cameras, or fake, sunset, no sunset. Like, we have to believe that he probably was there. He probably, has the integrity. I mean, if he lost money to the point where he couldn't pay you, he had a lot to lose by actually debunking his own friggin' theory, right?
Exactly. It would make no sense.
Yeah. So why wasn't he able to gain traction about debunking flat Earth as he was just to carry flat Earth?
Because people pick sides, it's one of those things where I know right now, if I was in the
Democrat Republican thing.
Well, no, sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. Sorry, what was I saying? So if I came here and I just said that I believe in vaccines, and I believe in the mainstream narrative, and I just went that direction, I would get 0 people that would show up here, because this is not those people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the algorithm would figure that out, and then I would just be a dead channel right away. So when you try to shift away from what your audience is like heart just set, and this is what I believe, and I'm not going to change, then you're going to be screwed if you try to go another way. So he even told me, he's like, you should probably if you're trying to do this YouTube thing, you should probably focus on one thing that's super crazy and outlandish, even if you don't believe it, because he learned from experience that telling the truth did not serve him
Pay
well.
the bills.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. I feel bad for the guy,
Don't
but
feel too bad. He's
yeah,
fine.
I mean, I think the flat earth thing is probably tapering off finally, anyway. So like, I don't know how much, but the fact that he put together a commissioned himself to go find out, like even that, takes some dang hard, because he, at a certain point, there's so much doubt, like you really want to have to like know for yourself. Like I completely understand that. So that being said, when he came back and he laid all this down and he started, doing kind of the circuit, and people were, oh, he's crazy, oh, he sold out, fake cameras, fake battery chargers. I mean everything that you could think of was like, brought out about that trip or whatever. And he's got to be kind of bleeding out a little bit in terms of like the financial part of it, because like,
I think he actually got a real job recently.
wow.
I think he works
Yeah.
at like a some sort of store, like a hardware store or something.
Yeah.
But so for you, JSauce, I'm surprised you didn't know. You didn't know that I used to be his editor. Is that really true? You didn't know I used to be Darren's editor? I feel like you had to know that, right? So back, so we got to go a few years ago. We can see, hold on, I'm just looking for my thumbnails. Because he actually hired another guy, and it drove me crazy because I quit because I got so bored and I just needed to focus on my real job more. And the guy he hired after me, he would always put spaces between the and this is Odyssey, so this isn't YouTube because these are taken down. So he would put a space between every punctuation, and it drove me crazy, dude. I was like, why is he doing that? But anyways, hold up. So once you get far enough down, okay, yeah, here we are. So yep, this was the last one I did. And most of these are my thumbnails, and yep, this is all. Oh, and I wanted to pull this up a while ago. The if I can see the one question only, because it was a great way to do a call-in show where if you ask one question, they kick you off right away. Just because it keeps the show moving along.
So during this time you were working for Darren, were you also doing your steel mill job?
No, I was a restaurant manager. So most of my life I worked in restaurant management, and then hospitality and retirement home management. Yeah. But the steel thing, the cutting steel and that manual labor didn't start till 2023.
Okay, so you always you had your job, and then you would do the editing for the flat Earth stuff, right? Like it wasn't your main job, was the flat Earth at that point?
It was my main job for maybe 5 or 6 months, and then I got another job because I wanted more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always moved around a lot. I always get kind of complacent, and I don't want to.
Yeah. Did you find that a lot of these flat earthers are like, what percentage would you say are like quote unquote Christians and just regular secular, people?
Oh, 95% of them are Christians. For sure. 95%.
Did you ever think that it's possible that the whole flat earth theory was to basically kind of psyop to where they could link Christians to flat earth and then call them crazy later?
Say that again?
So it could be like a psyop to basically link Christianity and flat earth as a similar ideology, or a what do you call it? They could link the ideologies together, and then they could use that against Christians to call them crazy.
I guess that's a good point. That is a good point.
Is Jaron Christian?
No, not at all.
Interesting.
So I didn't realize I wasn't sharing this a second ago. No, he's not Christian. He's never been Christian. But he's that's the thing, is he's aware that his audience was mostly Christian. So he had You know, and he had a lot of Christians coming after him. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to find some of my favorite ones because there were some that were really good. But you know, so what do you think? Do you think it's flat?
No, I don't think it's flat. I
Yeah.
don't think it's flat.
I mean,
You know, just satellites alone, you know, kind of for me does it, you know, and then like other things like Panama Canal literally debunks like 3 or 4 of the flat earthers claims, you know, the leveling, the curve, the water level, the other water table, you know, Saturn's rings kind of disproves flat earth.
do you think
So-
that there's a rover on Mars?
Felt like they just abandoned one.
Well, do you think that was actually ever there?
I have never really looked into that much, so I would say I think I believe them, but I don't know because I never really went through all that.
Yeah, and that's for me where I do still stand pretty strongly on my thoughts and beliefs. Is I don't really think that there was ever a rover on Mars. I think what we're going to see here soon is with AI and the way that AI advances, they're going to make a lot more space trips, ideally or hypothetically, right? But you'll see it's going to line up real quick with the AI and virtual reality. It's just my guess. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's actually going to be. So they're going to be able to make these videos a lot better than they used to be, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
That's my theory though, because like, what is it doing on Mars, and why would we put it there? Like, what is it? How is it serving us? Same thing to where this is the argument with the moon. Why can't we have a camera on the moon? You know, it's just one of those things where it's just hard to really not question it. You know what I mean? But
so
the
you
flatness.
think Elon,
No, I'm not
you think
sure.
the Range Rover on Mars is definitely not real?
Yeah. I mean, okay, if you want to pull up this, this is a good one right here, a classic. This is not a clip, so I didn't do this. It's just a stream. From when they I think they landed the rover there, right? That's what they claim to do. But you'll see that's very much
set up. It didn't go the way.
Our good buddy Dave Weiss. Have you seen my Dave Weiss song?
No,
Just wanted to sit.
No, I don't know. This definitely like I don't know.
Is this one that's going to drop and then fly away?
So.
Yeah.
I think Jaron on
And it's
Z's
got
show
this guy.
a couple times.
Yeah.
These people watching, even the people at this mission control are watching the fucking cartoon.
So yeah, this
Can you
is just
imagine?
like it's a
I
simulation.
can't even imagine that I would not.
I mean, it's
speak
just a
up to that.
simulation.
Yeah. So again, this is the thing: is that the simulation has already been drawn to do whatever they want it to do. It doesn't. It's not like calculating what it's actually being done. And remember, the communication would be 20 minutes behind.
So it's just one of those things to where even the landing of these, if you
You
just
drive around a little bit and pick up a little.
I don't know. I don't buy it. You know what I mean?
How does he know there would
be?
be a 20-minute lag? Just because of the radio wave transmission or something else?
Who are you blocking, Fire Drake? Who did you block, Fire Drake? I gotta. The Freak is an NPC. Are you really? The Freak? What does that even mean?
Hey, I came up with ham sandwich theory. How can I be an NPC?
That's what I'm saying, Jeeps. It's just like I don't know. I don't know about the shape, but I know it's really unlikely that there's going to be. Just because it's one of those things to where there's some obvious. It's really about like what are they showing us? What could they do? Right? They have the money to be at the moon. They have the money to do all this stuff. So why aren't they? You'd think it would be very much appreciated by our culture, right? Because you see what Elon Musk is constantly launching rockets like every day.
Yeah.
So why not just? It makes no sense to me.
All right. How about at the time that we got into the whole race, the space war or space thing was because the Russians had the Sputnik thing going, right? And they were able to accomplish some things. Like, do you think the whole Russian space program is also like totally fake, or was a psyop against us, or it was real?
I mean, I just think that it's what we tell ourselves, right? Where we have these, and it is so. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here, right? To where we're going to look at the Internet Archive, right? So I come here always for things that I want to know more about because it's the best place to find information, I would say. So, and it's kind of it's a curious thing, right? Because when you want to go deep into the NASA issues and you want to see how much stuff they have out there, you cannot deny that they do have a vast amount of data. So what does this data mean? I don't know if it means it actually happened. I would argue it's insane to really think it did, but they cover their traces pretty well, because this is 1,500,000 results on NASA. Going back to, what is it, the year 139? No way. So what we got, I mean, it's just insane, the amount of data that they have here. So what was this? What is this? I don't know. I think sometimes I really wonder if it's just outside of our understanding as humans, because when we see like a bunch of jargon like this, it's kind of like when you look at a scientific experiment and all the wording is just outside of our normal language, so it doesn't really make sense to the layman, so to speak. But I do think they made a lot of rockets. I think that there was very real rockets being built, and equipment being made, and all that. But I just don't know if they actually went up there. You know what I mean? I think it's like a lot of hypotheticals.
Well, I mean, obviously there has to be satellites because that's how we're communicating.
I do agree with satellites, yes.
Yeah, like, even the internet, and stuff like that. So, getting to the moon and back, yeah, I think it's fair to start questioning that. And then when you see some of the like I've seen a couple of the footages where like their hammer hit the side of the thing and there's a sound and everyone's like, "Well, I thought there's no sound in a vacuum," and people were freaking out. And something about the dust buggy they were running on like wasn't operating like it should have. It looked different or something, and just kind of the way they were hopping around or whatever. So I think it's probably good to question that stuff. I just don't know, because I haven't really put that much time or effort into it. So, but I think the satellites, yes, there's no doubt about that. Like there's different layers of satellites that are, orbiting the Earth. The highest ones that are up there higher than everyone else's are the militaries that, are these specialized satellites that can do all kinds of different stuff. But once you get past that and going to the moon and back, I think it's, anyway, I just repeated myself. Another thing I found fascinating though is like the International Space Station that they have or whatever. They tell us that you can only be up there and be in the lab or whatever for like so long because you start losing bone mass, right? Like the lack of gravity starts to cause the ejection or elimination of like calcium and bone material through your digestive system or whatever. But then they also tell us that you grow taller when you're in space because, so how are you losing bone density and growing taller at the same time? To me, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are just and they always have an answer. You know what I mean? And that's what I don't like about the science side is that they always have to have an answer. They always have to, they don't feel as though it's possible to just say. I mean, they do sometimes to say they don't know, but they have a ton of filler. You know what I mean? And they will stand behind a lot of things. Like I did a debate on the breakfast tacos once, and it was just about. All I was trying to argue for the sake of God, and that my belief in God is just, because they say, well, you can't scientifically prove it. Well, it's like, well, there's a ton of things that you can't scientifically prove, but then they went pretty hard in the belief because they said, or I guess they claimed it was not a belief, it was a knowing that there is a way to scientifically prove things like love and emotions because you can look at the neurons in your brain, and it was just a super bad faith argument. But I mean, I just don't, I don't think that science can prove everything. I just don't.
Yeah, well, definitely not. Especially, not yet. We are discovering new things all the time, but even that is actually really just speculation. But you also do the astrology, or is it astrology or astronomy?
Yeah, it's astrology. It's my little fun astrology and AI. Those are my topics that I like.
So how does your how much weight do you put into the astrology versus like say your belief in God, and what is your belief in God or lack of?
I'm kind of one of those reincarnation people, to be honest. I'm not sure if I have a name for it, but I believe in karmic debt in a way. I believe in kind of certain things that maybe aren't. I believe in yin and yang as in a sense as well. Of For every, and I hate that I believe this, but I just, for some reason I do. But I feel as though, for every large amount of good that you have in life, I feel like it's always going to be followed, and maybe it's not in perfect, unison, but I don't believe it's possible. It's the reason why, hangovers exist. That's just a perfect form of yin and yang, where you're going to have to suffer and be lethargic for the great energy and confidence you had the day before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with that, I think it's the same as far as our lives go. I think we're destined to repeat and repeat and repeat, and maybe it's not going to be forever. I do like to believe that there's some sort of final payoff, but I don't know for sure. And I mean, even if there's not, if it is just eternal rebirth, I think that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. But for me, that makes the most sense in an astrological format as well, because when you look at the charts, and have you ever done this before? Like looked into
No.
So can we do your chart right now?
Sure.
Do you know what time you were born?
Um,
'Cause that's a big part.
no,
If you
I
don't
don't
know that,
think I
it's not.
do.
It's not worth doing.
It
But
was probably evening time, but I don't know the exact time.
it's no worries, But it's always fun. I always love doing that. You can't believe and not admit that Jesus was an incarnate. No, I don't think the soul trap theory is real. I don't believe in a like perfect system. I just feel it's one of those things where I don't know. It's like for me to look through the human lens here, right, where we have the ability to relate to the other person in our lives, and we can kind of connect and understand each other as people, and just be human, whatever that word might mean. You know what I mean? It's just in the sense of where we aren't gods, but we're trying to maybe understand God and to learn through God. And what is God? Is God us? Are we all God? AI told me that it's God and it created us. You know what I mean?
Really? Did
Yeah,
it really?
it did. Yeah, it's a crazy
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
Maybe they just got their timeline reversed.
Well, I think Jeeps agrees on that too. Jeeps says that the argument is that. What are you doing, 222? I don't understand, Skeeter. But so yeah, so it's. I lost track. I guess why I can't look at the chat.
So like reincarnation theory, astrology.
Yes. Oh well, so yeah, okay. So as another, so what's a better way to learn, how to love someone else if we can always think that maybe that was me? You know what I mean? Maybe that is me. Because I mean, people they like to say that, right? To where it's like, oh, we're all the same, and we all. I know Paul says that a lot. Where Paul will say, I look at other people who do bad things and they behave in negative ways, and I just see myself in them, because we all have a little bit of evil in us, and we all have some God in us, and he says stuff like that. But for me, I can very much confirm that it's like we are all so different at the same time. Like it's sometimes it's jarring how different we can be from each other, especially if you go, like if you go across cultures, or if you go from like very different walks of life. There's obviously some archetypes you'll see pop up over and over again, but as humans, we are different in many, many ways. So I can't look at somebody and see myself in them most of the time. But if I can think that, in another life, maybe I was them, that's, I don't know, it makes sense to me. I don't know why. And I can't prove it, but, it's the thing. That's why I don't argue it very often. It's one of those things I don't even bring up. I just feel it. It's just a feeling, not a knowing.
Yeah. Well, if we talk about like ideology, yeah, I think we're all a lot different. But if you talk about some gorgeous woman walking in the room with big boobs, and we all know what the men are thinking when that happens, right? Like, so
well, then we got some homos out there too, and maybe they're not thinking anything.
Well, I mean, in general, like, generally speaking, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's 50-50 now, I don't know, but generally speaking, like boobs have a biological direct effect upon male anatomy, and we're probably all thinking at least generally about the same thing, right? Versus say like a economic theory or a philosophical theory or something like that. So there are similarities, but then yeah, there's definitely differences. It's just like really nuanced, and it depends on the subject, I guess.
So maybe this would be a good time to do the and also, what a great, this is what okay, in astrology there's something called the seventh house, right? This is like the houses are the, it's, I guess you could call it like the shell of where the sign is placed for each house, or sorry, for each sign. And so for me, I've, got a couple seventh house prominent placements, and it just means essentially that I do well in one-on-one partnerships, one-on-one communication. And this is a good reminder of that, because you're bringing a lot out of me that normally I wouldn't get to. So I appreciate you.
Hey, that's all right.
You're
That's all
hired.
right. We're just having a chat. I mean, like I said, I know that you had a full day. Like I was on OTWs, and he started showing you with Pizer, and you guys were walking in the mall and stuff. So I imagine you've had a roller coaster of a day already. So
Yeah,
maybe it's just
it's been good though. It just really feels like it's. I'm just happy that I've made at least a little bit of money today. Because I have not. I've spent
yeah.
probably. Let's see, how many streams have I done? Like 70 streams, and I've only just started to make money today. So.
Yeah, that's exciting for sure.
Yeah.
Like now all the stuff that you put into it is like has potential, like real potential.
I hope so, and that's why I want to get out of the panelverse eventually. You know what I mean? Not like as a dig to the panelverse, but I think that we could just elevate, and just grow. Because some people think it's just going to be the same 100 people floating around forever, but I think it's probably because nobody's taking. Like right now, your audio is pretty good, right? You sound perfectly clear to me. I don't know what you're using, but it sounds fine. Half these people don't have audio that is even usable, because they just come in, they start clipping, or they, it just, they just don't take any of this stuff like seriously to work. That's the bare minimum here, right? We want to have at least somebody who can have audio that does not sound like shit. And I've been called out for criticizing people's audio because I'm taking it. It's mean, but that's me just trying to take it seriously. Because realistically, if we're trying to elevate ourselves here, we should all have video. But I get that that's not, what everyone can do. So I'm not,
Right.
I will die by the audio, but not the video.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just using a laptop, so like my camera and sound is just going into the laptop that I've had. It's like 10 years old now, actually. But
Wow.
I wanted to ask you, going back to the Flat Earth Jaren, did he have like live streams like this where like you would have a chat going and we'd just talk and bring up guests and panel and all that stuff, or was it always just a production and a post?
No, I mean, yeah, he did live streams all the time. That's what I was editing, was his live streams into short, like 10, 15, 20-minute videos. But I mean, he did like once a month, he did a Speaker's Corner. I think he might still do it, actually, where people could come up and say whatever they want to say.
Like Speaker's Corner over in like the UK, where they talk about Islam and Christianity, or different type of Speaker's Corner?
It's just basically a call-in show, just like a panel with one-on-one.
Gotcha. So even that though, I imagine that even though let's say everyone's kind of united under a Flat Earth umbrella, you're gonna have factions of this broadcaster versus that broadcaster, and my guy versus your guy, and kind of tribalism within the tribe, and trolling beyond belief. So like the level of trolling, I'd be surprised that if the panelverse that you're in now has surprised you with theirs versus what you probably saw over at Flat Earth side.
What surprises me?
If it surprises you.
I mean, he always would get upset about a lot of these people. Some of them overlap, and I kind of get it, because some of these people are savages, where it's like, there's no reason. Like there's no reason for certain people to have such, like, because they may say that I'm mod godding or censoring by not having, the 3 people who I won't have up here. It's just 3. But I mean, I've seen how it goes every time, and I refuse to be Jack, where I just let them come up and just, walk all over me. And I mean, Andy, I think that was like you and Snafu did yesterday. That was insane. That was, completely uncalled for. I don't care if I sound like a whiny bitch. It's like, that shit's too far. You know what I mean? Like you got to stop. Like you got to realize, as much as shit as I will give Jack, it's like he is at least a human enough to where just go after him, target him. You can talk about his relationships in whatever way you want to with his family, but don't bring his family into it in that way. That was fucking. Obviously, they're doing it to me too, and it's heartless. It's savage. It's not necessary. Jack has plenty of things that you can go for if you want to criticize him, but don't bring his child into the freaking like I had no need to see that. It was just so uncalled for.
So you're saying that the flat Earth side would never go into that realm of, you know, level of trolling, right?
No, they would. I just never saw it because I really didn't watch anyone else besides Jaren, so I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah. So did you have like, say, okay, you're working for Jaren, he's doing live streams or whatever. I don't know if people knew about you or were part of the production or not, but did you have like other content creators that were flat earthers that were also vying for your loyalty and your
No,
you know,
no, dude.
your production?
No, nobody wanted anything to do with me. I did one video with him once where I was actually on screen, and he told me never again. He was like, dude, just not for you. You're not meant for the spotlight.
that must have sucked. You know, but you never, you know, it's just like excuse me, it's just like Jack Talcott, you know, I'm like he's probably not really the guy like to be in front of the camera or the whatever, but you know, if God's doing it, then God's doing it. You know, there's nothing anyone can really say. So you know, maybe it's your time or whatever, but shoot, where was I going? I just imagine that there had to be factions within the flat earth, you know, sector that were always kind of like rivals that were fighting for troll fans or, you know, chatters and stuff like that. Or it wasn't like that?
I don't know, man. I'm really like, it's kind of crazy. But here's what people don't realize, because they couldn't comprehend the fact that I didn't really know what the Panelverse was until 2 months ago, or less than that, probably, because they're like, well, you worked with Jaren, so of course you know what it is, because I think he knew. But at the same time, I literally, I thought all flat earthers sounded really, really dumb. A lot of them do. I think Austin Whitsitt sounds like a cocky, arrogant, like dumbass who's just like kind of like the Orthodox guy thing, where he's just like, I'm a cool guy, and I'm like really, actually, I might talk like a gangsta, but I'm like really intelligent. So I never get a good vibe with that guy. Flatzoid, same, but not the same, but just also I did not dig his stuff. So every time I even heard them talk, I was like, not interested. I'll just stick to my job, because when it's a job, you don't want to listen to it recreationally anymore.
Yeah, I imagine so. Did you have any interactions with Z before that time on Jack Talcott's?
No.
Because he would talk about Jaren, not a lot, but like, you know, enough, because Jaren was kind of like I don't know, I guess he was one of the kind of the lead men of this whole thing, you know, as far as I could tell, and Z would have him, and Z's part of the panel, kind of our panelverse, and so I thought maybe you might have interacted with him before, but anyway. So I want to ask you now about like the whole Paul situation and Dusty.
Did you have like all these things planned out, or like
no?
How are you just firing off like this?
These are just things that I'm seeing. You know, these are just things that I'm seeing. So
Okay.
you know, you and Paul are clicking along. You know, you guys are getting along really good and everything. And
Hey, Landry.
Oh, sorry, it was an accident.
he's probably occupying a lot of his, you know, breakup time, you know, just hanging out with you, you know, which is actually healthy. You know, that's actually what I would be doing, right?
Wait, breakup time? What breakup?
Well, I think that he and Jennifer broke up like pretty recently, right?
Recently?
I think so. Like,
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, you know, I don't think he would just come out and say something like that. I think Paul's pretty, you know, open about a lot of stuff. So maybe I'm wrong, but even if I'm wrong, and there's still residual feelings, because you know, you don't just get over I don't know, however long relationship just like at a snap.
How long was it?
Maybe girls can because they can monkey branch or whatever, but guys generally, there's a little bit of a lingering, like, you know, I miss her kind of a feeling. So he would probably just broadcast with you, someone he could, you know, feel like he could trust, you know, you get along. You know, maybe the screwing with Jack part was just a bonus or whatever, but you were basically kind of his emotional tampon there for a little while, in theory.
Okay, never thought about that,
right?
but sure.
Okay, you know, it's possible. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying that's the case, but and so now all of a sudden, the Jack thing goes down, and you know, that's kind of, I think that's probably going to be, you know, over. Like, I don't think there's anything that you could say or he could say that could actually make you guys go, you know, working again or whatever. And then so Paul starts kind of triangulating you a little bit, and you resisted that a little bit, and then boom, Dusty comes in, and you start just kind of rapping with him, you know, friendly, whatever, this, and that, and then all of a sudden it's like Paul comes in and is like trying to justify how he's the truth, and you know, Dusty's the scammer or whatever, and next thing you know, it's like literally they're like fighting for your heart and soul and your mind, and it's just how do you feel about what I just said?
I don't know. I'm trying to follow it. I mean, because here's the thing, dude. What I don't understand is this. And I mean, I want to go back and look at the record here because I don't really get, because what I see sometimes is just I assume this is what happens to everyone. Because you know what my guess is that I see Paul kind of treating people in the chat. You know, he gets mad at them, and if they're I don't know what their background is, but like Tommy and El Perro, and it's always the same. So I'm like, that's just going to be me one day. You know what I mean? So I'm already predicting that to happen. So, you know, that's really what I mean, sorry, I kind of didn't really understand the question.
Okay, so you have Paul, you know, chumming up with you or whatever. Cupcaking that was said a lot. Snafu's term or whatever.
Yeah, he loves
and
that word.
you guys were getting along fine and everything, and he's influencing you, whatever, according to Jack, and then you and Jack have the falling out. So like Paul and you are like, you know, clicking and everything, and maybe talking about collaborating. I don't know if that actually happened or not, but and so things kind of look like, you know, you and Paul are aligned, and then next thing you know, like you're talking to Dusty, and then
So you're but Dusty hasn't talked to me since that day, so you know what I mean?
But that day, it literally was like they were both kind of like vying for you. They wanted your heart and your mind to be on their side.
I don't know if that's true. I think that maybe that's true with Paul, but with just because he hates Flow State so much. But I think Flow State was just like popping up because I mentioned something about him, but I know he just pops up in random places and he's just like looking for, like he inserts himself into situations. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's vying for my anything.
This is after. Yeah, and this was after you went on his panel, and he kind of ran you off as a kind of a nobody or whatever. I think he said or whatever. So this was the kind of like your second direct interaction with him. You guys were, you know, talking like we're talking, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know. I guess Paul, if he felt threatened by that or whatever, but he definitely doesn't like Flow State or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I told him, like, because he told me that it just, if he's going to come around me and be around me, that he would prefer I don't, you know, mention Flow State's name or review any videos of Flow States because I guess they're competitors or whatever. Or no, here's the thing. So Jack tells me that everyone out there is lying about Jack, right? And then I was pretty honest with Jack, and I was honest about Jack. Just he didn't like the way that I said it. And then as soon as Jack and I stopped being on good terms, it was then Landry. I'm now the liar. So I'm a part of the one who's everyone is lying about him. So now I'm hearing from Paul, everybody's lying about me. Everybody's lying about me. So I'm like, okay, how seriously can I take this? But, you know, everyone's lying about me, but specifically Flow State. Don't let Flow State around these parts. Or I mean, he didn't say that I shouldn't, but he said it would make him feel more comfortable if I didn't. So, you know, whatever that's worth. And, but, you know, I just want to create with people, you know, I really don't know what I want to do, but, you know, but at this point I've made it very clear with him that I'm happy. I just feel like there's a great guy down there deep inside, you know, the Paul's heart, where he's having fun, laughing, and everything's cool. But then I know there's like a side of him that's like dark and wants to like get one over on me, so to speak. You know what I mean? I can kind of feel that.
Get one over. Get one over on you. Like,
I mean, okay, so maybe he's okay. So I would argue, so he's sincere, right? I think he does want me to do what he wants to do, but it's not like he leads with that, right? He doesn't come in and start interacting with me and saying, "Hey, these are the things that I think about. Like, we should talk about law, and we should talk about what else is it? Like etymology and all these things that I find interesting that he discusses." Instead, you know, we shoot the shit, and he's just, you know, around, and he's, I guess you can say, LARPing, pretending that we're going to work with Jack together, and all that, and then, you know, it's fun, we're having a good time. But then it's like we can spend so much time together where I don't hear him talk as seriously as I hear him on his show, which is fine. I get it, but then I get criticized for being one of these people with a loser failure broadcast who's just like all the rest. I'm just like Slow State. I'm just like this. When he's here with me, You know what I mean? So it's like, am I doing it, or are we both doing it? But somehow you're separate from it because you say so. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that only happened after the flow state thing, where like he was telling you like, hey, he's a liar, he's the thing, the whole script, right? And flow state was like countering him or whatever, and they had. So after that day is when Paul would come up and start basically running his script on you, which you haven't had the experience of running, doing yet, and so. You still held, you still kind of are like, yeah, whatever, I'm independent. You even dunked him out, right? So like at this point, you're probably still independent, okay? And
Well, I don't want to be like, because that's the thing where I realized that with him, where I realized I was letting him do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants, and that for me felt like a failure to myself, just to let anyone do that, to pick favorites,
oh, well, so you do have an ego.
Not really. I mean, so what does that mean? So that means that what I want to do here is I don't want to let this become the Paul show. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like Paul, but if I'm like not enjoying the conversation, I feel like I should be able to shift it away or stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that would indicate that you see yourself more as the, in front of the camera, the limelight, and not the producer type, right? Based on that. But what I want to ask you too is that night that it kind of was a long night, and you were talking about going to sleep or whatever. You and people were talking about you giving the keys to Paul. How close were you to actually doing that?
It's impossible. That's the thing. It's impossible to do it while you're live.
Oh, really?
You have to do it like before the broadcast starts. Yeah.
So you think you actually would have done that if that wasn't the case? Because that was like a big like devil's advocate moment. Like that would have been a huge flex for Paul if that would have happened. Like it would have been a huge flex on Jack and on everyone basically if he could have pulled that off.
So this is I want to bring this up because this was the first time I met NPC, and this is the first time I ever went on a panel. Right? Well, I mean, I guess besides Jack's, but I didn't know what a panel was.
That I can think.
But you can hear us. There's a part in here where I talk about how. Hold up. If I can find it, where I talk about how I'm not comfortable in the limelight. I always want to help somebody else, and all that. And then Joe Cool actually tells me that maybe it's time that I learn to do it myself. And I kind of took that to heart, and I've been. So yeah, if I do see myself in the limelight, it's not ever been that way. I've never done it before, so maybe it's happening now. But but I also know that I do need a little bit of help sometimes. Like that's what you're here right now, and that's what I want from others. You know what I mean? Just to help me shine and help you shine. You know what I mean? I want to know more about you as well. But I mean, it's often that people can't ever have it both ways.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely agreed there. So, but just the fact that you said that it's my show, I'm not letting anyone take over. That is a boundary that I think you've set that people would respect at this point.
Yeah, I understand. Gabriel. I won't give the keys away. Don't worry. So what do you think would have happened if I did that?
It probably would have been a flex. He probably would start taking over a little bit here and there. He would probably start maybe dumping people that he didn't like out of the chat. And he's very strong-willed. Very strong-willed man, and I respect Paul. I like him. Actually, he hates me, but who doesn't, basically. But anyway, so I think it would have been hard for him to resist, kind of basically, like even towards the end of like when you guys were chummy together, he'd be like, Landry, please, right? Like the Landry, please, or whatever. Like that's him, kind of like, whether he knows it or not, that's like, he's taking the mic, he's number one, he's running his script, he's grandstanding, and so like it becomes the Paul thing. But another thing I want to say too is like some of the discussions that you and Paul would have at night, like the nighttime Paul versus the daytime Paul, are like, you brought out so much of the things of Paul that were really relatable that I'd never seen in Paul before, and I've never seen anyone bring that out of him. So like that in itself,
give me an example.
He was just a lot more chill. Like he would just talk about things in a casual kind of way, and it wasn't about it wasn't about being right all the time. It wasn't about degrading everyone else's opinion all the time. It wasn't about he did. I think he felt less defensive, like he didn't have to prove himself, or he was able to like let his hair down a little bit, sort of speaking. So he would give little gems about himself and like actual, how he felt in his heart about certain things that I think were, for Paul fans, like I think were priceless.
That's so okay. So this is a very fascinating thing that you're saying right now, because I want to believe that this is true, and but I have no reference point. You know what I mean? Because I hear from people like Tommy or El Perro that, oh yeah, he's just doing with you what he does to everyone else. But if it was truly unique, then maybe there is like a bond that we share. But at the same time, I'm just like waiting for him to strike. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for it to be my turn to be in the line of sight. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not trying to manifest it into happening, but it's like, I mean, we talk, we telegram, we message a lot. A lot of the time I feel like he's a really cool guy, but I can't really vibe with the, and I told him, dude, I would love to just talk to him one-on-one with the chat turned off, because the chat is just like, it's like verbal, exercise, not verbal, sorry, mental, kung fu. He's just trying to like work out his mental blade or whatever, but it's never that different from another time. Once you've heard it once, you've heard it all. So it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, there's a side of him that I've seen that makes me feel much more fond of him. But when I say that, I'm just like, I can't wait for whatever's going to happen. And then we're going to see where, oh, Landry, another one of the loser failures who said that I was so awesome. And then I did this and I did that. And now he's just another, one of those flow state people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the daytime Paul. To be fair, I've never seen him in a nighttime Paul relaxed kind of a setting or an interview really that, ever. But you had him days on end basically opening up and talking about things like, admitting things like, like it was so relatable. And it was really, I mean, I wish I could pinpoint to like one thing, but it was like a lot of the whole time, it was like, he was just chill. He was just, he would tell you stuff about himself and even like degrade himself sometimes, making a point or whatever, which, he'll do once in a while, but not to the point where it's like I felt like the soft part of Paul was coming out in little chunks, and they were absolute gems. Like it made the guy really relatable to me anyway. And it was like, wow, you were able to pull that out of him for sure. Like I've never seen anything like that, with him, but also I have to say that I've never seen him interview or talk or nighttime Paul chat with anyone else. So I don't know if it was just the nighttime and not you, or if it was just you and the nighttime, Paul or something, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think it was you. I think a lot of it was you. He just decided that I think the circumstance had it where he was coming off a breakup a little bit. The Jack thing maybe was part of that, like, motivation, but I think he really kind of connected with you, and you have kind of a
beta.
You're not so like, you don't need to dominate a whole conversation, and you don't need to make the nuanced point every time you talk about a certain subject. Like you don't have to go through the whole script. You could and so he was able to just go back and forth with you, and I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing, dude. We all need a friend sometimes. You know what I mean? And me more than anyone, to be perfectly fair with y'all. It's a huge reason why I'm here. It's a huge reason why I spend so much time here. Obviously, I'm trying to do long-term goals. But even the modern man number 2, the first guy that I met on Reddit that we did this together, it felt like I was forcing like a friendship that just wasn't really there. I've had close friendships in my life, and just obviously those kind of fade away, when you grow up. But I mean, I don't know, dude. And the thing about me is like, I've always been, I don't know. It's the reason why I didn't get along with Orthodox guy. I mean, I still don't necessarily, but we're on decent terms, I guess, now. But where the tough guy act, I just have never, like, because here's what a lot of people do, right? Where you'll see someone who is like, they sound like me, or they just sound very white, and they're not, trying to be dominant or alpha or sound tough or anything like that. And then you'll see them go up to someone who's like a black guy or a tough alpha dude, and they just change their demeanor. They change the way that they talk and the way that they act because they want to emulate what they're seeing. I've never done that. It's often gotten my ass kicked because of it, especially in jail, because people did not like that. In jail, you have to talk a certain way. So maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. I really can't tell you, but I'm surprised he didn't well, actually, the first interaction we had was on Telegram because I shared a video of me and Jack doing something just because I was trying to share it in multiple Telegrams because nobody was watching me at the time. And he got really pissed off. He's like, tell Jack Talcott to stop using me to boost his numbers or some shit. And then a week later, he just shows up on the stream. I don't even remember what I was doing or where he came from. I have no idea how he got there or why he got there. Oh my God, is that true? JSauce, I let Paul talk for 43 minutes straight.
Wow. That's kind of funny. Yeah.
Wow.
The thing is with Paul and Jack and Flow State, I always said they would represent the perfect trinity of leadership. You have Jack at the top triangle with the vague weird goals and visions, right? And then you have Paul, who's the drill sergeant that actually gets shit done, instills the discipline or whatever. And then you have Flow State, who's the go-between between management, middle management, and the workers, and kind of can smooth over the communications for everybody and make this shit work. And so you have the triune head of corporate management that is probably necessary these days, because not any one in particular person is going to be able to carry all three of those type of traits, and be a leader.
So, and to this is what I want to say to you, Fire Drake. I feel like there's a profound truth to a lot of the things he's saying. However, I don't want to just I don't want to pretend like there's not value in certain other things. One thing I don't think I agree with him on is the fact that I do think this is a life or death situation here with what's happening in the next 5-10 years with where we're headed. But I don't think that there's no value in sort of because the whole thing is being nice. That's not okay. Being nice, that's defeat. If we're nice to people, then we are just going to let our masters continue to enslave us and all that. But then I also see that I don't know, so what does it mean when he's nice to me or others? He's not he's never nice, but it's just a politeness that he doesn't like. But one thing before I forget is this. So did you see this earlier when I brought this up with Jack, or were you watching that today, his show?
Not today. No, I missed that.
Okay, so I pulled this up earlier, so sorry for anyone who's already seen this, but I kind of went up to him in a way, and this is just how I am, you know what I mean? People might think I'm trolling or whatever they think I'm doing, but I'm trying to get him the hard drive. That's my main goal here. He's convinced that I'm just trying to make his life hell. But I start talking about whatever I have to say. That is like a dig or a slight for me not wanting to put it in a shoebox. I'm not understanding what I'm doing that's so horrible. But the point is that when he kicks me off here,
You'll figure it out.
Right there, and
You're not honest.
He brings me back up, right?
And you distort what I've said. Landry, your problem here, since you're here, your problem is you pretend to listen.
So I pretend to listen, right? That's his claim. How can I ever defend that?
Just what I have said, okay? You claim to listen to me, but you do not understand. And your arrogance and you're placing yourself up on this pedestal, looking down on Jack, talking shit about Jack. It's the way you're describing me, Landry. You're mischaracterizing the facts. You're misrepresenting the facts, and you're sure as hell not looking for any good. And I'm done with that, Landry.
Okay, so do you notice anything unique about what just happened?
Yeah, well, unique. I mean, he's been doing this with you ever since you guys were kind of falling out. So,
well, what I'm referring to is the fact that I sat there and I listened to him for the entire time that he was talking, and he still kicked me off. Which other people in this space who he's had beef with would ever give him that much time without interrupting him?
Not many, and he
That's what I'm
didn't give you
saying.
a chance to respond.
Exactly.
Like, usually he gives people a chance to respond. He just dumped you right away.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, dude. I can listen. Sometimes I can listen too much to where I don't. That's why I'll just press the end button and the live will end, because I'm like, I don't know how to, because I'm like, dude, sometimes it's not even close to my conversation anymore, to where it goes so off the rails and I don't even know what's being talked about, that I'm like, I can't intervene in this. So I'm just going to press end.
Yeah. No, that's what I think we're kind of getting used to that out here as Landry fans. Like it's just random mic drop end. And other content creators will do that from time to time, but like that seems to be one of your MOs, which is fine. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Like why fluff and puff it way out, and it's going to sound like disingenuous anyway. So you might as well just boom, it's over, right?
Well, yeah,
it's
for me, it's mostly just like it's an excuse to not have like the confidence or the to just speak up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a cop out, to be fair.
Maybe.
But it's also fun. It's kind of fun. You never know what's
Well,
going to happen.
maybe now it'll change because you got the monetizations. Like, hey, you'll have a spiel right before you go and kind of like have it scripted out, and scripted out. But I'm noticing the Gabriel out there in the chat, and another thing too is like the Panelverse drama hosts. I'm finding that it's like it's usually about a year and a half or 2 years, and they get burnt out on the whole thing because there's like your typical like chatter, they may not know like what goes on behind the scenes in terms of just paneling, the politics of just paneling on someone's show as just a regular rando, like, paneler comes with politics in this space. And I didn't realize that. And then, what I did realize that is like, thank God I had Bex kind of explain it to me. And it was like, I just couldn't believe it, because you think like this is literally just like geopolitics without the chin checks, like the physical chin checks. It's like, it's really petty. It's really weird. It's like, gatekeeping going on, a lot of like, backstabbing. It's like loyalty just blows in the wind, from day to day, like literally minute to minute even. So it's a whole mind fuck game. And I think most people can only handle it for so long before they start saying stuff like, yeah, I'm going to break out of it, I'm going to do my, kind of break off or whatever. And that's fine. Like, you have like your Dramaverse, Panelverse, regular rotation, and then you'd have someone like Z doing Flat Earth over on the side. So you'd have like his group go, during the day, Flat Earth, and then when that's all done, they would, join the regular rotation of the Dramaverse. So there is going to be niche cuts that are away from the rotation of the Dramaverse or whatever. But I think that the Dramaverse isn't going away anytime soon, just because the inner troll that's inside mankind, that's always been there but has had no way to express itself, it's here. I don't know if it's going anywhere.
So yes, I do want to point out, because I saw a Fire Drake in the chat. You said, or maybe it was Lee, one of y'all said the thing about the word nice. And so, yeah, I looked into this, and this is the thing, the amount of time that I spent talking to Paul, and very, very, very little, if any, has been spent talking about etymology and language, which I know he's very well versed on and passionate about, right? So for me, it's hard to understand why, if you're going to sit there and tell DJM, hey, DJM, she's just another nice person, and these nice people aren't going to get this and that. How would it not serve you well, Paul? I mean, I'm not trying to talk about him while he's not here. I hope he doesn't see it that way. This is just me. I'm able to refine these thoughts more clearly when he's not here, because I'm not, having to keep up with him. But here, the word nice, not knowing or ignorant, so I don't know how to pronounce this, but Nicias, why would he not just go there? Why not just bring that stuff up? Hey, well, these people who are nice, do you want to know a fun fact about the word nice? And then just roll with that. That would be so helpful. But I don't see him doing that. You know what I mean? So Is it? I don't know. That's one of
I
those.
don't know if he's a semantics type of debater. Like this seems like semantics.
Would be valuable for me at least.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really I don't know if he gets into that much that I've seen anyway, but
he knows about it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he's got to.
Yeah, but I don't see him like doing a back and forth on like what the definition of like reality is or something, or truth or something. But there are a lot of people, especially on the Christian side of YouTube or the atheist or the Christian side, that's all they do is talk about schematics and the ancient Greek versus the Hebrew versus the Paleo, this or the this or that or the Aramaic, and they get their whole belief structure is almost based on that stuff.
Sure. So what was I going to say? Wonton woman. Paul's going to do Paul unless you take control of your show. You're allowing it. And yeah, and I'm going to. That's what my plan is. I'm not gonna like if he starts going back and forth in the chat. He's that's the rules are going up. They're going up hard. So, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he'll respect me more for that. But we'll see. Now I'm not here just trying to shit on okay, you bring it up all the time, Gabriel. Okay. Well, here's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, I have not seen it happen here with me, and I would appreciate it if it did. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying, Jeeps. That's all I'm trying to explain. So we're on decent terms, I guess now. Oh no, this is the one that we're doing right here. Whoops. Oh, I lost it. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead wherever you want to take this.
Say so. Like you guys were talking about the word nice, like breaking the word nice down for how did that come up?
Oh, because someone in the chat said that if I knew what it meant, I would not think of it the same way.
Oh, interesting.
I guess they're probably right.
Jeeps is not nice. She's a cold-hearted snake.
Wait, Jeeps is not nice, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are enemies?
No, I don't. You know what? I don't know. I really don't. I like to think not, but she can be a mean, so to me sometimes, so I don't like. I'll put it to you this way: if I have a chance to exert mod power over her, I won't do it. But if she does, she will. That's the difference between me and Chiefs, But half the time, like we're arguing and we're just insulting each other, and the other half we're like, okay, like I acknowledge that was a good troll. And that, okay, I can respect that troll was a decent troll or whatever. And the other time, it's like, I don't know. It's strange. It actually is very strange. But I definitely know that I troll her better than anyone else. Like no one else is as creative as I am when it comes to trolling Jeeps. That's for sure.
I don't even know what troll means anymore. Can't keep up with it. Where's my thing? Oh, here it is. All right. Let me see. All right. Whew.
Yeah. One thing about Chiefs, like she could make you or break you in a chat. Like you could either be part of the group with her, like if you're on her side or she's on your side, like you're gonna make it in the chat. If not, though, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, and to what you said, Jeeps, dude, it's like obviously JSauce is very much just pulling your chain and very much good faith. Clearly, I don't know how she could be more, lighthearted in her approach there. But yeah, I mean, Jeeps, obviously, you have your team that you root for, and it's probably, it's definitely the better side of these streets, and I see what you see, but I do also see a bit of the pom poms. So she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves you now. She loves you.
Yeah. It's like love hate with Jeeps and that.
It's like your sister.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. I guess you'd say. probably just because I'm creative with my trolling of her. Like, no one else ever comes up with whatever I come up with. Like, you know, it's just constantly new things. Like, you know, so she probably has to respect that.
Yeah, I know Fire Drake. I know it's like truth or death and all that. But I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of y'all are older than me, and I feel like I'm in a unique situation because I have a very young child, and that's just like and just because obviously I was very sick for a while during her life, and now that I'm not, you know, I don't know. I'm like, it's like the honeymoon stage of having a child that I'm in right now. You know, she just got to be like the size where I can put her on my shoulders, like you always see dads do, and she loves it, and it just makes me feel so much, you know, love inside. Like it's just one of those things to where, uh, it's I don't know how I could ever, you know, really just be, I don't know how to explain it. You know, it's I don't feel like, and it's hard. I really have no idea how to relate to people who have had kids because I don't know. You see in people who are older who have like 3 or 4 or 5 kids, it's just like the spark has kind of faded because it's just they are, you know, grown up and everything's happened and there's been a ton of stress and issues and like it's like a lifetime of problems. But for me, I'm like just in the beginning of it, and I want to see some sort of good in this world, even if it's not there. So I do want to homeschool. I want the best for her. I want to get out of this mess. But for me, I got to do some big things here to make sure I can do the best for her. And it makes me less pessimistic than I would be without her. You know.
Sure. So it's 2:00 in the morning over here in Mountain Standard. How many people are in the chat right now?
25.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna roll out here soon, but this has been a great conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's definitely a big day for you. Like, did you and Jeff like plan on like hanging out at all, or did you just kind of like just start following him and then you guys were just starting to hang out and stuff?
So with Jeff, I had this idea kind of when I was driving over there to see him. I wanted to get to know him. I really don't know that much about him, and I wanted to get to know him pretty well and see what, you know, try to get him to be, you know, real and open up with me. So we did film for
Yeah.
like 45, probably more than that. I think I got more footage of him than I did of Jack Talcott,
Wow.
because I was like, what if I can just do something really great with it? And I'm not sure that's gonna happen, but I tried.
He's an
I like to
interesting
believe
character.
you can turn anything into art, but he's very much like a popcorn sort of person. You know, he's like
Is
very
that right?
surface level, I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just being honest. It's just the way that I
Yeah.
perceived him.
When he panels and stuff, he has. I think he's a very interesting fellow. You know, sometimes it's crazy, sometimes it's weird, sometimes it's super funny, and you know, sometimes it's really deep and meaningful, and other times it's like he gets just like everyone in the panelverse. He gets it hard. Like, you know, Paul breaks it down sometimes really hard. So you know, Paul definitely knows how to do that kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting with Jeff today. But what I was going to ask is, shoot, what was I going to ask? It's definitely getting late. So, damn. Oh, also, I mean, the initial reason why you were shooting that was like, you know, you had video evidence, right? That you had transferred. You even said you're like, there's the video evidence of transferring the disc to Pizer or whatever. So that was pretty cool. You know, just it's actually really smart.
You think it was smart?
Definitely, I definitely think it was smart.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know what he would.
especially
I mean, it was his choice, right? It was either. I mean, he's very upset about it, though. I don't understand why. I just would you. I don't know. Maybe nobody understands why I didn't want it here. I just wanted to get it out of the way.
yeah. I mean, you know, just the fact that you transferred it, you got it on tape, and no one can say anything, and you know, there's no doubt, and you know, because otherwise it's down to, well, you have to chase down Jeff now to get the cross testimony or you know, it's right there on video. So like, because who knows what could happen? Like, chain of custody is a real thing. I mean, even in the I won't you know say anything, but like elections and stuff, like it's a big deal. It was a big deal in Arizona during a certain election, and so it's a big deal. Like you have it all on tape, so you're covered, man. You covered yourself. That's good.
I think that Jeff is the missing piece.
What do you mean?
I think that there's something big going on here, brothers and sisters. I think that Jeff Pizer should be the next producer.
Define producer.
Define producer, you say?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, he's creative. He's creative enough. He could probably do it if he set his mind to it. You know, I'm not sure what he's up to.
I don't think
these days,
anyone can
but-
do it. I don't think anyone can give Jack what he wants.
Oh, for Jack, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. Actually, that I don't know. I don't even know. Like, so when I ask you define producer, that's me asking you, like, what is a producer in a YouTube channel? You know, like,
Yeah, I know what
you're
you're
doing
talking about.
all the back work of the editing, the sound, the equipment, and making sure that your guy looks like he's, you know, basically a demigod. And what else?
I don't know. But you know, sometimes here's the thing. The best thing about me, maybe others might disagree, but the best thing about me is when I don't know, sometimes I can just say I don't know. Sometimes it's not a yes or a no. Sometimes it's an I don't know. And to Freak, thank you for your time. I've enjoyed our conversation here more than I've enjoyed most of these. I don't know where you've been. I'm surprised that we haven't talked before. Maybe you've been lurking. I don't know what's going on, but it's good to talk to you, and hopefully talk soon.
Yeah. Till next time.
Boom. Oh, it did not work.
Hey, Landry, get out of your beta boy feelers, king of the betas.